Despite the local economy being expected to grow around the 1% mark this year, as well as challenges around the cost of doing business in the country, Stats SA data suggests that businesses are proving resilient.
The number of business liquidations in the South African economy decreased by 5.5% year-on-year in June 2024. This represents a decline of 7 liquidations, from a total of 128 in June 2023 to 121 in June 2024. The 121 liquidations recorded in June 2024 include 17 compulsory liquidations and 104 voluntary liquidations. Broken down by type of institution, 67 companies and 54 closed corporations shut their doors in June 2024. The number of company closures decreased by 3 cases year-on-year. The number of liquidations by closed corporations declined by 4 cases over the same period.
But those who observe the health of businesses in the local economy question whether the latest data is a true reflection of what's really happening in the local economy.
I suppose my initial response and reaction is that a correct reflection of economic activity in South Africa? Are we feeling as an economy that things are improving such that we would expect a decrease in liquidation statistics? And I suppose that's where my struggle is because I still see an environment where we have high interest rates, and in fact the interest rate decline that we were hoping was going to happen towards the end of this year now more likely scheduled for early next year. Inflation more under control but still relatively high. Some positivity in our market as a result of the government of national unity, but it's far too soon for that to be baked in to the liquidation statistics that have just been released.
Mitchell Murray surmises that perhaps the lower liquidation statistics could speak to an uptick in companies going for business rescue processes instead, but says there isn't necessarily data to back that up. She reiterates that the local economy remains a difficult terrain for businesses, which can be seen when looking at those companies that opt for voluntary liquidation. And she warns business owners to get advice to try and salvage their companies in the event that things get difficult.
When you break down the liquidation statistics, you can see a distinction between what is called a compulsory and a voluntary liquidation. A compulsory liquidation, really an application by the creditor saying this company needs to be liquidated. It is by far a much smaller number than the voluntary liquidations. But again, voluntary liquidations are generally commenced because there is pressure from a creditor group. So are companies taking the action that they should? Are the directors doing the responsible thing and considering liquidation as an outcome? It is a terminal process, but failing to do so carries some fairly dire consequences for directors. So one hopes that directors are receiving the proper advice and taking the steps they need to when their business is no longer able to pay their debts as they fall due.
With the local economy still under pressure from inflation and 15-year high interest rates, the going continues to go tough for many businesses. And even if liquidations are coming down, the feeling is that many businesses continue to operate in survival mode and less in profitable territory. Nompumelelo Siziba, SABC News, Johannesburg.